And there we are. We're live. Good morning, everyone. Monday morning, October what? The 5th already. Crazy. 5 days already go by in October. Tell you, time flies with this COVID stuff. All right. So today, what we're going to work on is we're going to work on some stretches that we're going to be laying down for the most part. A couple more we're going to do on our hands and knees if we are able to do that. But are all things that you can do either on the floor or on your bed. If you're doing it on the floor, try to get a nice mat. Yoga mats are nice, but they're pretty thin. So if you have sensitive knees, it might be a little bit too thin, right? So number one thing is be comfortable. Let's find a good spot. We're going to work on the laying pencil stretches we're going to start with. But first, always stay hydrated, right? Always get your water. And if you're anything like me, don't forget your coffee. Why? Because it's a myth that you are not allowed to do this stuff with any kind of fluid. You have to do an empty stomach. Not true. Okay, so here we go. We're going to lay down nice and flat, nice and comfortable. All right. Now your feet should be pointing up. They're not falling to the sides. Okay, your toes are pointing straight up. And then we're going to bring our arms over our heads as much as we can comfortably do it. Now, if you have a little bit of trouble with the arms, getting them up there, lay them on your side, and we're going to try to get them out. Okay, so ideally we want to go here. If you can't, we're going to go out. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to stretch. So what you're going to do is you're going to push your heels, not your toes, not pointing your toes. You're pushing your heels down and your hands either up or out, right? One of those two. And we just give it a push. Just a few seconds. There we go. And we relax. Nice. So it's not too hard. Right? Pretty easy. There we go. How did everyone sleep last night? Good? I know I did not. I did not at all. Okay, ready for another one? Here we go. Line ourselves up. Ready? Now we push and we stretch. And we really get it up there. And you should be feeling this all the way along your body. Good job. Nice. Just like that. Very good. Yeah, sometimes you don't sleep well. And that's okay, guys. I would not feel bad about that. It's completely fine. And it's going to happen. Sometimes you're going to have better days than others. All right. So here's what we're going to work on. Next, we're going to work on the inner thigh, which is the groin area. Okay? So, sorry, I'm just pulling in my pants to make sure the pants don't restrict me. So, what you're going to do is you're going to have your feet together. And you're just going to open your legs. Now, what you're not going to do is you're not going to push your legs out. We're relaxing into stretches, right? So we just let our legs fall as wide as they're going to go. You might feel a little bit of restriction here or on the inside, right? Both are possible because if you have tightness, you're going to find that. But what you need to do is not push it, right? So you're not trying to push it down. You're just trying to let it settle. Right? So try to relax those muscles. Good. Perfect. There we go. And then we'll bring it back up nice and slow. You're doing great. Easy. All right, ready for another one? Here we go. All right, so these aren't exercises. So when you're doing these, don't consider them as an exercise. Right, they're stretches. Now try to get your feet as close up to your buttocks as you can. All right, now alleviate some of the stress on the hip. And sometimes it's hard, right, to get all the way to the things I'm doing. So that's sort of why I'm showing kind of two different levels. And I'm not the most flexible person, trust me. I've had some leg issues that have really tightened these babies up. But, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on it together, and we're going to get there. It's no problem. Perfect. So how did that feel? Good? Excellent. So as you see, I always say that we need to relax into the stretch, and when we come out of the stretch, we have to do it slowly, right? Now, I've talked a lot about this, and I do show and tell pretty often. What you want to do is you want to remember that all of the ligaments and tendons and muscles, they're acting, when you're stretching, they're acting like an elastic, right? So they're stretching out. So all these fibers are really, really tight. And then you're kind of stretching them out and putting them into place, which is great. But sometimes you'll stretch them, and what you don't want is you don't want them to snap back into place. You want them to ease back into place, right? So that's why we take our time when we do this. We do not go fast, okay? So next one we're going to work on is our hip. Now, there's a few ways to work the hip, okay? Now, one, you'll see a lot of people that lift their leg up and they'll twist this way, and that'll stretch up the hip here. But that's pretty advanced. So a lot of us might not be able to do it. If you can, quite simply, so if you look, we're going to do a couple of variations. So you're going to try with me what you're able to do, okay? So let's see if we can do this one. This is kind of an advanced setting. We're just going to have our foot like this. So one leg straight, one leg bent. And you see my foot is obviously naturally where it's supposed to be. We're going to try to get it up and over the other leg. And that's going to pull on that hip. You're going to feel that stretch. And we're just going to hold that. Remember, we're relaxing into that. Now, if you can't do this, don't worry about it. Don't push yourself, because we don't want you getting any pain. There's one for you coming up. And just do that. And remember, we relax into that stretch. Now, try to keep that knee up, right? So we're not letting it fall down, right? We're keeping that knee up, and that'll stretch that thigh out. Or, well, thigh, the hip. God, this is what happens when I don't have enough coffee. All right, so here we go again. We're going to see it from the other side now, right? So this hip is very relaxed right now. We're going to bring it up and over, and it's going to start stretching right here. All right, and we just relax into that stretch. Yes, we're relaxing the muscle, but we're also keeping the leg up. I understand it's a little counterintuitive, but you're good. Perfect. In just a few seconds, right? We're not doing anything long. This is not going to take, well, it's going to take long because we're going through a lot of variations. But when you're doing this on your own and you know what you're doing, and after you've done a couple, you can do your stretches in 5, maybe 10 minutes. And I know we all have busy days, and we've got a lot going on, right? And many of us, I mean, I used to be one. This is why I suffer tightness, right? I used to say, I don't have time for that. I don't have time to do 10 minutes of stretches in the morning. I can barely get out of the house on time to go to work. Well, this is why we're doing these now at 9. You're likely already at work. But the key is, do them whenever it fits into your day. All right, so hip variation, what we're going to do right now, okay? So let's say, for example, you're really, really tight in the hips or you have some weakness. Here's what we're going to do. You're going to lay on your side. And up here, it's whatever's comfortable, right? I like this. You can lay down here, whatever's comfortable for you, right? Now, you're going to lay your leg down on the ground as if you're sleeping, right? Like you're sleeping on your side and your leg is down on the ground, right? So the ground is supporting the weight of your leg, right? And now what you're going to do is you're just going to rotate your hips slightly outward to get that pull, right? Now, this is, if you're really, really stiff, you want that weight here. As you go, you might be pulling your knee up off the ground. If that causes discomfort, you bring the knee back. That's okay, because if you can get it off just a little bit, right, now you give your knees somewhere to relax into, right? So as you relax into the stretch, your knee has somewhere to go. Whereas if you do here, you might just cancel out the stretch completely. So we really got to focus. We pay attention. And I talk a lot when we do this. We really want to focus and be in the moment. And don't be in a hurry. Don't be rushed. All right, so you're going to have to do the other side because, unfortunately, if I do that, you're just going to be seeing my rump. And that's, well, that doesn't make for great television. I'll promise you that. Oh, good Lord. All right, so do the other side, right? So same thing. So I'll do it on this side, but you can flip it over, right? And I'll just keep giving you that same concept, right? So put that leg on the ground and turn those hips towards. So you're if you're looking at, you're aiming your posterior, right? So it's here. You just turn it towards the back, as if you're rolling over, right? We're just going to stretch that leg out. So now you've done both sides. Good, perfect, good job. So we have a couple of advanced stuff we're going to do. For the most part, a lot of us can do these. Try it. If you can't do it, no problem. There's other stuff for you to be able to do, okay? And this is why you need to focus. A lot of times, you'll have to call me for custom programs. We have people with a lot of different issues. We all have different problems. Like I say many times, there's 7 million of us in the world, and no two of us are the same. So this is something that's going to stretch out your glutes. I'll do it on this side so you can see, right? So we want to stretch out this section right here, okay? These are your glutes. Yes, your glutes are focused mainly here, but the connection is all the way from here down to here. Now, ideally, what you can do, if you're not very flexible, you can try to push this. What we want to do is we want to bring this leg up to stretch, right? We're not pushing down the hip, right? We're not pushing down this knee because that's going to put pain here. We're trying to let it bring it up, right? So, yes, I can reach all the way down beneath my leg, but we can do this, right? We can try to pull. So you're pulling on the foot area, trying to get that stretch here, right? This involves a lot of core strength, right? But when you're here, once you get it, now you should be able to relax this portion. There we go. And down. Good. Now, if this is hard, which I understand sometimes it is, we have other stuff that you can do. You can start, if you look what I'm doing, I'm bringing my toe in as much as I can. And you might get that stretch already. If not, yes, you got to advance it. Now you can do it this way, right? You can do it underneath the knee to really bring it up. But what you want is you want to feel that stretch. That's number one. All right, so whatever's comfortable, and we relax. All right, there we go. We're going to have another stretch for the glutes later, but we're starting here. Okay, this is where we're beginning. Now, we're going to work on stretching out this section here, right? So we're going to do two things, and they're going to be very similar. So one is for your chest. So all you're going to do is have your arms down, and you're just going to try to bring your chest up a bit, right? And we want to stretch out that rib cage. We want to stretch these muscles out, right? We're going to just want to expand the rib cage a bit. And by doing that, you're working your spine also. Now, if you feel discomfort, you need to stop, right? You always stop. Discomfort, you always stop. There's a lot of reasons for discomfort, right? Rarely is it going to be tightness of the muscles. So your muscles can be tight, and you'll feel it. As you stretch, your joints will be tight. You'll feel it. It'll be weird sensation, but it'll actually feel kind of good. You're like, ooh, that's tight, but your body likes to stretch, right? So when you're feeling pain, your body knows it's pain. Don't be fooled, right? Your body definitely knows. So listen to your body, all right? So here now, next thing we're going to work on, see, we already did those. It's that quick. Next thing we're going to work on is the shoulders. And we're going to do essentially wall angels, but we're going to do them on the floor. So remember snow angels when you were a kid? Right? We did these guys. Right? So that's what we're going to do. But we're not going to do, it's not an exercise. So you're not going to do 10 of them. Okay, we're gonna go slow. Now, obviously, I'm not flat on the ground, right? So I'm kind of elevated. So I gotta hold my arms up. So we're gonna come like this, and you're just gonna let your body stretch it out. And we're stretching, we're not exercising. So we're not doing 10 reps. We're just getting it up, letting it stretch out, and then we bring it back in. And that's it, right? So that's all it is. Now, obviously, with your hands laying on the ground, it might be hard because you might lack flexibility to actually get your hands down at this level. No problem. You can bring them up, right? So your hands can be up here if you're not too flexible. And if you see my hands are still curved upward, that relieves the pressure on the shoulder, but still allows my shoulder mobility. Okay? So the idea is that all we want to do is we want to use these joints. That's main, and the muscles that are involved, that's what we're trying to stretch out here. Okay? So now we have 2 more to go, and we're going to do them on our hands and knees. So hopefully you're in a position where you're able to do that. If the floor is too hard, again, these can be done on a solid enough bed. Right? The bed can't be so squishy that you're sinking down into it. It's got to be solid enough to, at the very least, be able to hold the position. But the next 2 exercises are really, really good. One's going to work out the whole back, the lats, and the hips. It's called the child's pose. Fantastic for you. And we're going to do some glute stretches again. Okay, so here we go. Ready? All right, hands and knees. Okay, comfortably apart. Good. Remember, the back we always want to have nice and straight. Right? We don't want to be bending our back or sinking, or we want to keep it nice and stable. Why is that? Because that's how everything is supposed to be aligned. So when you're doing stretches, you're doing them properly and you're not putting undue tension on certain areas of the spine. So here we are. Ready? And we're going to sit back onto our feet. That's how we're going to do it. Good, just like that. And you're going to feel tension already. Good. And then we're just going to bring ourselves down. And from here, what you need to do is relax, right? So you're going to feel your body kind of resisting. Deep breath. That's it. And just relax into it. And as you relax into it, you're going to sink a little bit. Right? And that's what you want. Right? You want that relaxed state. You don't want to push. You don't want to be pushing your hips to bend. Right? Because some of you are going to be a little bit tight. And we're going to get to about here. And that's all you can do. And that's okay. Right? That's fine. From here, you lower down. And you relax. And your body will eventually sink more and more and more into this position. So don't worry about it. Right? So I'll even do it with you. We'll start with a kind of a lighter one. Okay, we'll start right here. And bring the head down. Good. Right? So now you have to kind of migrate. So you're still getting a similar position. Good. And now, as you relax into it, maybe if you're feeling really comfortable, you can kind of see what I'm doing with my fingers. So I'm just kind of crawling forward. Maybe I can push it back a little bit. Good. All right, so I'm not forcing it, but I'm encouraging. So that's great, guys. So now you did the child's pose. Now, we're going to work on the glute stretch. Now, the glute stretch is it's going to be intimidating, but you can do it. Take it from a guy. So just to give you an example. So what I'm doing right here seems pretty natural, but for most of my adult life, I could not do this. I could not sit in this position. I would have to sit like this, which is why you'll see me sitting like this out of habit, right? I'm just out of habit sitting like this because I could never cross my legs, right? Only through effort and stretching did I manage to achieve this. So you can do it too. So when we do this next exercise, it might look intimidating, but I think most of you will be able to do it. And if you can't, this is where you got to message me, right? You message me, we work with you. That's what we do. We focus on people who have struggles, And we build custom programs to improve their quality of life. And then once they're at this stage, right, then they're top shape, they're killing it. So here's what we're going to do. Obviously, if you can sit like this is starting position number 1. Right? So we're going to just lay like this. So you see now I've done that position and I've eliminated this back leg. Right? So the idea is, if you remember when we laid down, we had our legs crossed and we were trying to pull our knee up to our head. Okay. We're doing the same thing, but slightly more advanced for those of you who might be a little bit more flexible. So here's what we're going to do. It's going to look crazy, but you're going to be able to do this, and it won't take that long, right? So now we're on our hands and knees right here, and we have the leg here. So you might feel a glute stretch already. If you're that tight, you might feel it, and that's great, right? Fantastic. Now, the aim is to get the knee to the chest. So for those of you who don't feel it yet, let's lower down a bit. Okay, feel it yet? No? Yet? No, you don't feel it yet? Okay, keep going. Go down until both your elbows are on the ground. And it seems crazy. You're like, I'm never going to be able to do that. But it's not as hard as it looks. Right? Once you get there, you're going to stretch it out. So you might be at first one of these positions. Right? You're going to notice that your arm on that side is going to hit the ground before this outside arm. Right? Because that extra rollover really puts a heavy stretch on it. Right? So you might only be able to get to here. You might only be able to get to here. That's fine. What's important is that you go there, you try, and then relax into the stretch. Yeah? There we go. Just like that. Good. Perfect. One more to go, and we're done for the whole day, you guys. You're doing great. Now, tomorrow we're doing standing stretch, which is a little bit easier. Right? Okay, now we'll do the other side. Ready? Now, if you find one side tighter than the other, that's okay. Because we naturally have a leg that we lean on more. That leg tends to tighten up a little bit more. All right, so there we go. We just get here, deep breath, relax into the stretch. And one of the few times that allow you to bend your back, so you got to take advantage of it. I always make everyone tell any of my clients that their back being straight is like ingrained into their head. That's the way it's supposed to be. But in a stretch, you're allowed to do it. If you're doing any activity, you got to keep it straight. All right, guys. Well, that's it for today. Right? Nice and easy. Not too difficult, I hope. Listen, feel free to throw some comments down and let me know where, if there's any stretches you want to try, or any muscle groups that you're having trouble stretching and you want to see if there's a way you can do them on the floor or laying in bed. Right? Always hit the like button, the subscribe button, and the little bell icon. You're going to see them down at the bottom of the YouTube video. Right? It's important because it'll let you know that we're here and we're doing these live videos. Yes, it's every day at 9 o'clock, but it'll give you a little alert, right? And you'll be able to come in and tune in to these videos any time of the day that you want and share these with people, right? It's important that we get the word out because what we want, now, yes, obviously we build custom programs. And if you have any difficulty in doing any of these, you need to reach out and speak to me and we'll build a custom program just for you. Because there's a lot of things that we go on, like I said, 7 million of us. No two are the same. But in general, what we do want is we want to spread the word that health is important, activity is important, movement is important, right? It's the official fountain of youth and the key to quality of life. So let's spread the word. So if you know someone who can take advantage of these things or need private sessions, you send them over here and you send them to me and we'll take care of them top shape. So that's it. Have a good day. It's Monday. Make the best of it. Don't worry that it's Monday, because Friday is on its way. All right? With that, have a good day, and I got to crawl over to this video to say goodbye. My giant head. All right. Have a good day, everybody.